Dun 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 dun. Whoa, I didn't think I would actually manage to make it sound somewhat nice, because at some point I think I always lose the theme of the song itself, so now I'm really proud of myself. Not sure I'm going to put this in the final edit. Hello cookies, it's Siri, I am back, and today I'm bringing you the review of Kirby and the Forgotten Land, but it's only going to be a co-op review. The thing is, I played the game by myself, but only through the demo twice, because I think the game was so nice. Now you already know what I think about it before I'm telling you. Kirby and the Forgotten Land is a beginner-friendly game that anyone without any prior gaming experience could totally grasp and play and be comfortable playing within, I would say, 20 to 30 minutes. There are always detailed instructions on what you're supposed to do, and you can literally look at the screen, see what they're doing there, and they show you the buttons, and then look at the controller and see which button you're supposed to press or what you're supposed to do. The thing is, I would not necessarily say that it is a party-friendly game, because there is a clear quest, and for the people that usually like gaming, you like knowing what happens in the story, you like achieving things and progressing. So it's not the kind of game where you have one specific task that would last for 5-10 minutes like Mario Kart or something, and then when you're done, you're done. It's a long story. Were I to play Kirby and the Forgotten Land for the first time at someone's house, I would be really frustrated when we have to go home and stop, because I want to continue collecting things, I want to continue to do other things, and so I would need to buy the game for myself. And also, you're only 2 players, so if you have more than one person at your party, it might not be the best game. On a pure co-op aspect, the game is just average. Kirby gets to do all the fun stuff like swallowing a car or swallowing lots of different things, and it's always such a fun moment when you see something that you know he can swallow and use, and there's always this novelty and fun. But unfortunately, Player 2, who plays then Bandana Waddle Dee, doesn't get to swallow anything, but it makes sense because he's not Kirby. But Kirby also gets all the cool weapons and weapon upgrades, and even just upgrading the weapons is really fun. It could just be a whole aspect of the game itself to try and collect them and upgrade them and try them. I always love getting a new weapon or upgrading one and testing it out and going, whoa, this was so cool, or this was so fun, or this looks epic but I don't like using it. And then you have Bandana Waddle Dee forever stuck with his spear. So that's quite sad, and I wish that they would have given him the opportunity to upgrade his spear, maybe to be able to throw some fireballs with it or do something more with the spear. Granted, Bandana Waddle Dee actually does quite a lot of damage, and in many aspects of the game, I wondered how I would have cleared a level or a boss if I just played solo, because it is a huge help to have a Bandana Waddle Dee, and especially during boss battles, the bosses, they focus mainly on Kirby, and if you or the other person plays Bandana Waddle Dee, you can just basically poke the boss with your spear as in attack, and they will still lose life, but they will not care about you and still focus on Kirby. So it's a huge help. We've only died once towards the end when fighting bosses, and I really think that I could have died many more times by myself playing solo. So the co-op in Kirby feels a lot like something they added to make it more sellable, to say that, oh, there is co-op available, because then there are more ways to play and it's a bigger incentive for people to buy the game, which I understand. With the ex-boyfriend, we alternated playing either Kirby or Bandana Waddle Dee, because sometimes I really just enjoy the ride being Bandana Waddle Dee. The one thing where he is superior to Kirby, I think, and the ex-boyfriend agrees, is when you fly or when you jump and you just want to go down. With Banana Waddle Dee, it's really straightforward. You just jump down and it's quite precise. But with Kirby, he still keeps on floating and the way down is really slow. And it's quite frustrating as well. And that aspect of Kirby is something that neither of us liked. And so playing Banana Waddle Dee is just like, at least when I jump down or when I stop flying, I just land directly. It doesn't take much longer and just waiting and being frustrated. So on that aspect, at least Banana Waddle Dee is far superior to Kirby. So even though the co-op aspect itself is quite average, we had a lot of fun with it because we did not mind switching between being Kirby and Banana Waddle Dee, and for us it was more about playing together and having fun together than really being the one getting to do the cool stuff. And like I said, many mechanics of the puzzles or the things that you had to do there, I did not know how I would have cleared them playing by myself, and I was really just grateful that someone else was there, either as Kirby or Banana Waddle Dee. So subjectively, I had a lot of fun with the game, and it's definitely in my top 5 co-op games. We play a lot of co-op games together, and I've tried many co-op games, and Kirby and the Forgotten Land is definitely in the top 5, but that's subjectively. Objectively, the two players do not get the same experience unless you're willing to alternate between Kirby and Banana Waddle Dee, and you don't have someone that is going to complain like, yeah, you always get to do Kirby, why do you get to do the fun stuff? I'm just doing the boring stuff. So if you don't have someone like that, then you might like the co-op in Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Don't tell me I had this piece of hair just dangling there the whole time. Some of the mini games songs are just so freaking addictive, and I get really happy every time I hear them. I'm just like, dun, 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 yes! And even just for the music itself, I don't mind replaying the mini games. Towards the end, if you unlock the music band in the village, you can choose to listen to the music, and I do that a lot because I really love some of the mini games music when it gets really intense and battle-like. And that's also where I like the fact that we are two to play, because the ex-boyfriend has favorite weapons and I have favorite weapons, and we don't have the same favorite weapons at all. It's almost 50-50, where I don't like the ones that he likes and vice versa. And the mini games, you have to use one special weapon, so sometimes you have to use the dragon fire. I'm not entirely sure it's called like that, but let's call it like that because we played both in French and English. Or sometimes you have to use the pestle or something like that, and some of them I really don't like using and some of them he doesn't like using. So the fact that we are two to play, if I see a mini game that I want to do because we need a star to upgrade a weapon, I would just say, hey, can you please take care of this because I really don't like this weapon, and vice versa. So to get more stars as well to upgrade the equipment, I think it's nice to be two. The game is just so beautiful. For some weird reason, desaturated games tend to look classier and more expensive, even though they might suck in the end once you've purchased them. But with Kirby and the Forgotten Land, they really nailed it because it looks colorful and bright, but it never looks cheap. But at the same time, it's the Kirby franchise. They know what they're doing, so they know how not to make a game look cheap, and the visuals are great. There's nothing blurry, there's nothing weird. We have not experienced a single bug or anything weird happening. Both the ex-boyfriend and I are quite completionists when playing games. I like to unlock everything, unlock all the features, explore everything, and it's pretty much the same. So in Kirby and the Forgotten Land, you can clear the levels without having accomplished all the missions, but no, that's not going to fly with me. I have to accomplish all the missions, otherwise I'm going to get frustrated and I want the higher scores when I play games. If we haven't cleared all the missions in a level, even though we've cleared the level, we've cleared the final task and then we finished and now we can progress further on the map, we go back and redo it. And depending on what the level is, I don't mind replaying as Kirby or I don't mind replaying as Bandana Waddle Dee, but sometimes if it's a level that I don't really click with, like for example there's a part where you play in a fête foraine. Now I have to put the word in English somewhere here because I can't remember for the life of me what a fête foraine is. You know, like a place like Disneyland or Parc Astérix in France or Universal Studios. So, oh my god, when I edit this, it's going to come back to me and I'm going to be so frustrated for myself. An amusement park, and I really don't like it because I think it's way too hectic and there's way too much happening. So on those levels, I'm really happy to just always be Bandana Waddle Dee on the second or third run if we have to redo the same level many times, because I just don't want to deal with all the hassle of the levels. So I really don't mind just being Bandana Waddle Dee. I just tried the demo of Kirby because I had nothing else to do, and the demo was so great. I finished it twice and I thought, okay, this game I'm getting as soon as it was out, and it was a first day purchase. I mean, the ex-boyfriend offered it to me, and he was already the ex-boyfriend back then, but he knew that I really wanted the game, so he just offered it to me. Hashtag ex-boyfriend goals. In terms of value for money, for all the fun times we've had and the many hours we spent with the game, I think the game has really great value for money. There are mini games as well available in the game in the village, and you can be two to play. Regardless of whether I'm Kirby or Bandana Waddle Dee, I always managed to get the biggest fish every day, every time we were doing that particular mini game. At first he said, you are just getting the biggest fish because you're playing as Kirby, and I said, okay, well, you take Kirby and I take Bandana Waddle Dee, and I still managed to get the biggest fish. And that's it for today's review of Kirby and the Forgotten Land in co-op. I had a blast with it, the ex-boyfriend had a blast with it. It was a pleasant surprise. I don't usually like trendy things, and Kirby is just so freaking good, so I'm really happy that we jumped on the bandwagon. Actually, I would not have jumped on the bandwagon if there was no demo of the game. So this is for all the developers out there. If you believe in your game and if you think that the game is amazing, a demo is always the way to go. I have downloaded maybe a dozen demos in the past week, and I have not purchased a single game because I did not like any of them, so it could also go left. But if your game is really that amazing, it can also attract some people, just like Kirby and the Forgotten Land did with the ex-boyfriend and me. And that's it for today, cookies. If you enjoyed it, please leave me a thumbs up and subscribe if you don't want to miss the upcoming videos. And also, I am still looking for housing in Berlin, so if you know of anyone or anything, do let me know. And until next time, I will see you very soon. Bye bye!